I just wanted to take a quick moment to kind of explain my multiple choice test. That's what I'm going to call it. But it's just a series of 4 drills that I'm going to use to track my development as a shooter, and also when I compare multiple guns to each other and how they perform and how they shoot. Just kind of have a standard crucible to put them all through. All right, now I'm an appendix carry guy. If it's going to be a Glock of some sort, probably going to run in one of these 2 holsters, either the Filster Pro here, which I have in the right now it's in this Enigma, but it's a good holster, very comfortable. In the demonstration, I'm not running it on the Enigma, I'm just running it off my belt. But I'll be using this Glock 45 here, model, not caliber. It's a 9mm double stack. I've got a lot of time on 17s and 19s, so to me it was just a kind of good way to go with what I know and kind of use it as a baseline. So first off, I'd like to start with something I call the Jack Wilson drill. That's 1 round from the holster in 3 seconds to the head box at 15 yards. For those of you who don't know, this drill is named after Mr. Jack Wilson. He's the hero in the white settlement shooting that happened in Texas a couple years ago. Basically, a gunman came in. He killed 2 people very quickly in 3 seconds with a 12-gauge shotgun. The 3rd shot fired in the incident was from Mr. Jack Wilson, who, while the gunman kind of was shooting people, he drew and fired a single shot to the gunman's head, ending his life and his violence instantly. It was an incredible use of force and a very difficult drill. It really tests your ability to draw smoothly, get into a proper presentation, apply your fundamentals, and put a bullet exactly where you want it on a small target at kind of stretching the limits of the effective range of a handgun. So that's why I like it, and I think it's a good metric. Next up, we have something called the test, also known as a 10-10-10 drill. Other instructors like to use it, but it's 10 rounds at 10 yards in 10 seconds on a NRA B8 target scored out of 100, and it basically tests your ability to obviously draw and fire at 10 yards, but also how your fundamentals hold up for 10 rounds in a row. You have to manage recoil, get your follow through, get your sight picture again, do a smooth trigger press, all that 10 times in a row under time. So it's just kind of another great metric. Next, I like to do a bill drill. Great drill. Again, testing your fundamentals under stress. You definitely have to hold your presentation, get your follow through, and the key is to kind of have accountability. You have your sights for every trigger press. Now it's very easy to kind of just hold the pistol in place and yank off rounds, but to actually see how your sights track are kind of the key to this drill. All right, last I like to end it with a fast drill. That's 2 rounds to the head box, a reload, and then 4 rounds to the body. You test lots of things in this one. Your draw, your precise shots, your weapons manipulation with that reload, and then being able to speed up and just kind of crank off rounds as fast as you can. 4 quick ones to the body. There we go. So that, along with the bill drill, is typically shot at 7 yards. Now for the fast drill, instead of shooting at a head box, typically you should be shooting at a 3x5 card. And then for the body box, you'd actually be using like an 8-inch plate. Now the time standards for that, now if you can shoot it clean under 10 seconds, you're a pretty proficient shooter. Under 7, and you're a really, really good shooter. And then if you can get 5 or below, then you'd be considered expert. Now, I typically land well under 7 seconds, but I also typically drop 1 or 2 shots. So, take that for what it's worth. Just to recap, that Jack Wilson drill was fired at 15 yards, 1 round in less than 3 seconds. Now, me personally, if I take most of that 3 seconds, then I can pretty much 100% guarantee a hit at that distance on that target. Again, assuming that it's going to have a good amount of time on. Now, the problem is when I'm practicing, I typically try to push that time and try to fire under 2 seconds. And you hear me call out my times. And if I'm pushing under 2, then I typically hit, around 60 to 70% of the time. Now you'll see it, again, that's assuming I have a good amount of time on that gun. I'm about to post a video about a USP 45 and the 43X. I don't have a lot of trigger time with those guns, and so that definitely drops down to 50% or less, 2 out of 4 shots. And, what can I say? Maybe with some more practice and some more, deliberate fundamental use, I could bump those numbers up, but that's where I'm at right now. The test is fired at 10, 10, 10. Now I typically, again, if it's a gun I have a good amount of time on, I'll land between 92 and 96. I've never scored 100 on it. Maybe one day soon I will. But if I'm shooting cold, then it'll typically be around 92. If I'm kind of warmed up, I can start climbing a bit. Now I do fall under 90, every once in a while if I'm kind of just having a bad day or if it's a gun I'm not that familiar on. But for the most part, I land between 92 and 96. Next, we have the bill drill. The bill drill, I typically shoot in under 3.5. I'll drop one on occasion. Typically with a double action, single action gun, I'll drop the first one. I yoink the double action. I do have a good amount of time on double action, but it just requires more sort of like homeostasis with that trigger than striker fired. But that's mainly because I shoot a striker fired more often for work, and I don't have a lot of I have a lot of time on a double action, single action, but not recently. So it's when I switch back over to a double action that I start having issues like that. Anyway, these are just my standards and kind of where I'm currently at in my shooting development. I appreciate you guys watching and listening, and if you have any questions or comments, just let me know. Anyway, stay safe, take care, bye-bye.